Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kathleen as your host for today here at the e-commerce marketing channel for our second panel discussion today. Before we begin, just a quick reminder, be involved in the conversation. If you're watching on a computer screen, just look over on the right side and you will see the live discussion area where you can chat with other attendees and drop your questions to our panelists. If you're watching on a mobile device, then the live discussion area is just underneath. I am delighted to introduce to you our guests who will discuss creating an engaging customer experience, moderated by Mag Salvador. She is the head of online channels for Universal Holidays Incorporated. Joining with her is the COO Philippines country head of Beam and Go, Albert Christian Go, and the head of digital marketing for Robinsons Bank, Patricia Ancioco. Over to you, Mags.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you very much for that introduction, Kathleen. We would like to welcome those who's joining us virtually on this Seamless Philippines Virtual 2020 event on e-commerce marketing channel. We have an interesting topic discussion for this afternoon session about creating an engaging customer experience. I would like to ask our distinguished panelists, Albert Christian Go of Beam and Go and Patricia Ancioco of Robinsons Bank, for a brief introduction and maybe provide us your area of expertise. Would
All
you like
right.
to start?
Should I begin?
Yes,
My
Albert.
name is Albert Go. I am the co-founder and COO of Beam and Go Philippines, or Beam and Go. Our company was actually founded back in 2000. And we're all of us in the management team, and of course the people who are working in Beam and Go are all coming from OFW roots. And the main pain point why we started this company, which is an e-commerce company, is to help overseas Filipino workers so that they can take charge and take control of their family's needs. So we actually are an e-commerce social impact platform, and we've onboarded products that would help the OFWs to choose how their families would use their funds. And over the years, we've onboarded like supermarkets, pharmacies, department stores, and now SMEs and e-commerce like retailers and sellers have onboarded their products in Beam and Go. And today I'm very glad to be invited in this segment together with Patricia and Mags, and hopefully I can give a few examples that can inspire the people who are watching today.
All right. Thanks, Albert. Yes, Patricia.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Patricia Ann. I am from Robinsons Bank as the digital marketing head. So in Robinsons Bank, what we do is we provide solutions, we are a financial partner for different kinds of people. So that's what we have. And part of my expertise is that I do digital marketing. So before I was actually part of a media advertising agency. So it's more on we are reading numbers and how people behave, which actually helped us in creating a better experience for our market. So I'm so excited for today to talk to you guys and share with you how we are evolving into a better customer experience platform.
Wow, thanks for that, Patricia. As we know, a lot has changed in the customer's ways in the digital world. Any brand or organization need to be able to understand the customers, especially in this new normal situation where it's really a challenge keeping them engaged. So to jumpstart our discussion, would you like to share what initiatives are you doing to create an engaging customer experience for both Robinsons Bank and Beam and Go?
Oh, I can kickstart the discussion now.
Yeah.
I was actually I graduated with the marketing degree, which was like more than 15 years ago. But I believe the same principles do apply in marketing, and
Agree.
and while the technology has changed and has evolved over time, what matters the most is you understand how to develop a marketing strategy that can engage your customers. And for Beam and Go, I mean, it has evolved all over. I think the last 5 years, and I have to say, it actually begins and ends with the customer in mind, and that's why part of our the questions today is about the path to purchase And I think I would have to say it starts with you understanding what the pain points and the needs of the customers are. And then from there, you can derive and choose the various marketing channels that you would need to employ to engage these customers or your prospective customers. And for Beam and Go, like any startup, you know, a lot of it is we started with a lot of experimentation, Facebook content. We even created YouTube or whatever is available online. But I think the first step that we did was to actually get things started, Mags. And then after that, we were able to refine it over time. So just to give a few examples, later on, I think we'll dive deeper into the technical details on how we were able to reach this point where we are now. I think we had Facebook, we had YouTube, Instagram, we even had the blog or vlog.
Wow, a lot.
And now, just recently, we started to also create our Viber communities and Facebook communities to make it a lot more engaging with our customers. And of course, if I were to also insert in part of our customer engagement, it's not just the marketing side, but it's also with our sales and customer support.
Customer support, agree.
And which is something that John and I are very proud of, is because we developed a way for us to communicate with our customers in a very personal manner. In fact, we're very much parang mabilis kami to connect with our customers, and we've even created groups to ensure that that the customers would know, oh, these are really people, and we're not just talking to like
chatbots. Agree.
I hope I was able to, I don't know, to give everybody
yes, definitely
introduction on the types of, and just to add, no, is one of it is also our electronic emails.
Email. So you do email marketing still?
Yes. In fact, and a lot of people have some questions about that. And right now, if I look at the statistics or some of our metrics, just now I was looking at it, our email open rates have increased. No, right now it's like 26% just over the last. So a lot of our sales actually come from emails.
Wow. So conversions is coming from the email marketing initiatives that you're doing right now. All right. Yes, Patricia, how about Robinsons Bank?
I do agree with Albert with finding the pain points of your market, because what we are doing right now is we try to understand the market's need, especially when it comes to financial needs. Some don't have bank accounts. A huge number of Filipinos don't have bank accounts yet. So we actually call them unbanked. And we try to craft, or we have actually a product that we made, or we specially developed for those who don't have bank accounts, and they can actually open it without going to the branch. So as part of building a better customer experience, we try to understand their current needs and try to shift as fast as we can, without, you know, with following the compliance and whatever papers we need. Especially for banks, we are very regulated. So we cannot just implement or launch a specific product without going through all the process necessary. So we actually developed a new app which allows, during the pandemic and during the lockdown, we actually launched an app that allows you to open a bank account without going to the branch.
Wow, that's great.
So it's really contactless. You just need your mobile phone, just download the app, and then you will have an account instantly. So that's what we are trying to do to build a better experience for our market. And we also have a product that allows you to just have a bank account without lots of IDs and lots of requirements. You just need one account, one ID, and then 100 peso, and that's it. You already have a bank account that you can use even online.
Yeah, that is really great and very timely and relevant too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, does awareness and engagement really truly result to conversions, and how?
Sige.
Yeah.
Awareness and the engagement, no? I would say awareness is very critical, especially if you're building a brand at the beginning. we basically created a new brand, and we were tackling an age-old problem of a lot of Filipinos when it comes to remittances, which is the misuse of the funds. So that's
Yeah.
why it's always been that sad story for OFWs when each month, let's say a domestic helper would send uh, up to 20,000 pesos worth, all her salary to her family,
Yeah.
husband, but it tends to get misused, di ba? So, nung nag-create kami, when we created Beam and Go and created our landing page, our website, our initial merchants that we have, the first thing that people uh, would ask is, are you a legitimate brand? Do you have existing customers? Do you have, is it real? Is this a scam? So
Yeah, hard
24,
questions.
when we were starting, we had no choice but to launch these digital ads. And we would get all these questions on, like, I mean, other than the fact that it's hard for, at that time, to engage customers online, and not to mention, a lot of OFWs are unbanked. They don't have a credit card to purchase.
True.
It also did not help that at the beginning, we were starting with only very few customers. In fact, I think the first ones could be Jonathan, our CEO, myself, and a couple of our family and friends, diba?
Yeah.
So I would say it is important that brand building is part of it. And at the beginning, you do need to establish your brand. And I have to say, it's important to you also invest in marketing. In fact, if you look at it, all these ads, all these marketing, yung mga Facebook ads, Google ads that
Correct.
you're using, you should treat it not as an expense, but as an investment at the beginning.
Agree.
Then you later on,
Agree.
over time, that would lead to engagement would be the third step. In fact, second step that you would begin to see are a lot of your customers, a lot of customers using your brand, and then writing positive reviews about
Reviews.
posting it in Facebook, which is what we rely on now. Kasi a lot of our
Yeah.
customers post it, then their friends would see it. Tapos
Correct.
that's how we create that virality.
Yeah. Still the most powerful word of mouth pa rin, right? For marketing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely agree with Albert on that. Reach is still something that's very important, especially when you're launching something new. Robinsons Bank is turning 23 this year. We're a very
Wow.
small bank, very young compared to the bigger brands or the bigger banks that's been here
Thanks.
for like 50 years, 100 years. So we have to make sure that the market knows who we are. And before we even get them to invest or like deposit their accounts on us, we still have to let them know that, hey, we're Robinsons Bank, we exist, and that
Yeah.
here are products and services that we offer. Yeah, I know, because even though we're part of the JG conglomerate, having the Robinsons as a brand or a
Yeah.
part of our name, it's still kind of different when they see that it's connected with the bank rather than the department store or the
Or
mall.
the
So we still
conglomerate.
have to establish who we are because they have to ask, oh, what products do you have? Do you have this that's specifically for me? Do you have loans? What
Yeah.
makes it different from the other banks? Like we offer motorcycle loans. That's what we
Wow.
actually partnered with another JG company, which is Premium Bikes. That's how we are building. Because at first, when we launched actually our Simple Savings account, which is our bank account for the unbanked, there are only few people who onboarded. It was an online onboarding or an online opening, account opening. So there were only few people, and we had to invest on Facebook, on digital,
Yeah.
just so we get the people to try and to know what our products are. Actually, last year was the first time Robinsons Bank tried doing digital marketing. So that
Wow.
was yes, that was also the time that I joined the bank. So
Yes.
it
Yes.
was a first, and it was a risk that they were willing to take because without that they won't be able to reach a huge number of market, and we
True.
were able to get the engagement. We were able to convert them and turn them into real bank accounts that we are now engaging and developing, helping more people to be financially literate and save more, especially now with the current situation. And
Pandemic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just to
Agree.
add, no, I think because I used to also work in the banking industry, Patricia, and that was like 12 to 15 years ago. But I would imagine because I moved from a small bank to a much
Mhm.
bigger bank, and I started with a marketing and communications team. And I know how the struggles of how to, I mean, how do you establish your brand as a bank? You
Yeah.
know,
True.
Robinsons is a bank, is a huge retail company, but they're actually not known in the banking industry as the
Right.
like top player, di ba? So, but even though people know that there's Robinsons does have a bank like many of these big companies, but they need to know what's in it for
It's
them.
different. Yeah.
Mhm.
What are the different services that you have? Like you did mention your motorcycle,
Yeah.
loan,
Yeah.
and then also siguro your app. Let's say you launch the app, and then the app has certain features that would help make their lives much easier. Then if you convey it to them and a lot of people would talk about it, then the word will spread, diba? I mean, just to
Yeah.
give
Correct.
example, yesterday a huge bank, just a bunch of them did not work for like 4 or 5 days, diba? And then you can see it
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
storm, people were mad, not to mention me payday. So
Yeah.
I think it's actually,
Yeah.
I mean, although switching cost, I have to say, medyo, it's time consuming and hassle for them to move. But
True.
if you know your product is just superior, then that could be an open opportunity for you to tackle these and mga switchers. And
Correct.
there's, I mean, it doesn't innovation does not. I mean, it's not just limited to the big players. I mean, anyone can
Yeah.
Mhm.
always
Yeah.
jump.
Making things better. Really, that's innovation.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry,
nowadays,
maybe
no
I'm
worries.
speaking on your behalf, but I'm trying. Pero I mean, I like to talk business, and I'm learning from you and Mags, so it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So nowadays we use a lot of platforms in reaching our customers,
Mhm.
and we absolutely need to be keeping a consistent brand voice, however our customer engage with us. So do you recommend using any omni-channel platform or servicing that, MSMEs or companies can make use of? And why do you think it's important?
Sige, Patricia, what do you think?
Actually, it's actually good to use an omni-channel.
Yeah.
If you have multiple channels with you, you have to make sure that you build it with the same tone. Actually,
Agree.
when we are launching one app or even a product, it is a group work. It actually a work with different departments. There has to be someone from IT, someone for our customer experience, someone from marketing, someone for our digital banking group, so that it will have a consistent tone and it will have
True.
a consistent experience. Plus, at the same time, you have to test before you launch something or you try to launch. So when you try to use one channel, you have to identify what's the purpose of this channel, for
Agree.
the longest time, what was the experience here and what was the feedback, and in terms of like results or engagement, did it work, and then how can you apply that and build your whole roadmap. So yeah, it's actually good to have multiple channels at the start and then funnel it down to which one works and which one does not, and then that's you do a lot of growth hacking, change
Mhm.
your communication if it has to be
Wow. Yes.
different in terms of and then you have to make sure that when you are doing something or launching a product or an app, everyone is involved at the
True.
start.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's not just your marketing, it's not just your external team, it has to be everyone, even your HR should be included
True.
because they can be very helpful in like guiding your staff and telling your tellers. Like for the bank, we actually empower our HR to help us empower our tellers to, okay, if you promote this product, you get this as an additional, and then these are the guidelines that you can use to have a
Yeah.
better sales, and results. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they have incentives also.
Yes,
Yeah.
we actually do that because
Nice.
it's actually easier it makes you feel involved, and it's part of the whole
True.
experience. When you're building an experience, a customer experience, it's not just for them, it's also for your clients, it's also for you. It has, or
Yes.
for your team. It has to be a holistic experience or a holistic strategy.
True. Internal, internal, there are customers too, right? And I really believe
Yes,
that the marketing responsibility not rely solely on the marketing team, right?
Correct.
yes.
Yeah, I concur with that. Actually, the advantage of having formed and established a startup is we have that advantage of establishing and cultivating that culture we have in Beam and Go. For instance, the people that we've hired, actually meron sa amin, uh, daughter of our customer, a domestic helper in Singapore. She started as a customer service representative, and now she heads their sales and customer service team. And ang maganda sa amin is we have that ability to form that culture of being able to connect with our customers. In fact, everyone from our team in Beam and Go has OFW roots. In fact, Mags, yung team ko, everyone is working remotely. Only a few of us are coming from Metro Manila. Dalawa lang.
Yeah.
All of them, meron from Quezon, Laguna, Cavite,
Wow.
meron from Davao. Actually, kalahati ng team ko is from Davao. And then I also have people from Bacolod and Cebu. And that wouldn't be, I wouldn't be able to establish that kind of remote team if I did not prepare for this even before COVID-19. So even before COVID-19, that's how our team works. And,
Oh,
and we maintain a very close connection with our staff team to ensure that they can answer in the right voice. They can
Mhm.
even speak the
agree.
dialect. They speak the dialect. So merong
Yeah, more
Ilocano,
personalized, 'di ba?
Yeah.
pwede Bisaya, Ilongga. So ganun yung composition of our team. And just to add, no, and I attach it in the to those who are watching there in the chat boxes, the some pictures or sample of our content. And one of it is like establishing our brand voice. And part of it is actually me. I come out in a lot of the content. Sometimes parang napapagod na ako, but people do find me. So parang they would add me in Facebook, they would, because the way we establish it is I needed to establish myself as somewhat like an expert
Yeah,
in OFW, giving advice to OFW.
true.
So how were we able to do that is, syempre sa simula, it was very difficult. Parang minsan, I mean, we would pitch to like editors of, let's say, newspapers or TV, etc. And then I was very fortunate to be given that chance to talk about OFW in my story. And then we started boosting these types of content. Ngayon, na-interview ako ng CNN or let's say Business World or
Yeah.
Bloomberg, and then we would post it online and spread it out. And just take snippets of it for people. Oh, who's this? Albert. And then that's how the whole thing continued to go on. Even recently, I noticed like a lot of people are doing are streaming on Facebook about because of this pandemic. We see all these mga pages.
Yeah.
They're having all these sorts of mga talk shows. Meron rin kami. In fact, we started 2-3 years ago. Although I noticed in Facebook, they're trying to limit the engagement of these streamers, no, unless you're in that industry that uh, that they support. For example, gaming, because they're trying to compete in that
Yeah.
sector, so they get more viewers there. But then it doesn't stop us. Good content is one part of it, but having good content uh, would be wasted if you're not posting it in the right platforms, diba? In
Mhm.
enough
Yeah.
Agree.
platforms.
True.
And then
Yeah.
I realized, okay, that's why I just had a meeting with my team just a week ago and told them, oh, this is such a great content, but we used to have like 6,000-8,000 views, but now it's down to like 1,000. So sabi ko, maybe we should reconsider the channel strategy
Mhm.
on where this
Yeah.
should appear. So maybe, I mean, there are new ones like may Kumu, or there's so many other platforms that are out there
True.
You just need to be, I guess, ahead of the curve, and be open. Like sabi ni Patricia, is you have to look at all these digital marketing channels or your
Mm.
touch points.
Yeah,
Start your channels and then you stream and build that funnel over time, and it's evolving.
true.
So I guess that's
Continuously evolving.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a question here from the audience. Do you think email is something we can forgo as a communication channel,
Actually,
given the varied options for messaging apps and the urge for quick feedbacks and engagements by customers?
and that's a very good question. In our market, kasi if you're talking about, let's say, digital, and then you have an e-commerce platform, you already have the emails of the people, di ba? Kasi when they
Yeah,
sign up,
they
you're able
sign
to
up there.
list of emails. And then from there, you need to be able to refine that email list from those who are active and inactive. Kasi pagka nakita mo from the initial emails, hindi na siya nagbabasa, you have to take them off that
List.
active, put
Yeah.
them in, let's say, a rehab list. And then your active list, you just need to continue to keep it. Kasi there are people who are accustomed to using emails because they think that
Emails.
it's a lot more, I guess, that's the way they communicate eh. Parang sometimes I get surprised. I get a 20 to 25% open rate.
Open
Tapos
rates.
sabi ko, this is, I couldn't believe it. But then when I speak to my marketing team, ang tinitingnan ko, of course, is your click-through rate and your open rate. But at the same time, you also need to look at how many people ordered. So parang,
True.
nakikita ko, let's say 20 people, 30 people ordered last week. But let's say I got 50 to 100,000 pesos, but I only spend less than 2,000. Then it's a really good investment. You spend less than
Mhm.
2,000, but you're able to get. But to answer that question, siguro yung based on priorities, a lot of people are using Viber. In fact, Viber is very
Yeah.
strong, but it can also be a bit more expensive if you calculate yung cost per send mo rin, if you do it programmatically. And there are platforms out there like InfoBip where you can programmatically send out. It's just,
Yeah.
for Beam and Go, my customers are not all from the Philippines. Eh. So iba-iba yung rates.
Yeah.
So if you send the message out, let's say in Japan or in Hong Kong,
Singapore. Yeah.
iba yung pricing. And then you also need to take a look at what is the messaging platform that's widely used in that country. So for example,
Mhm.
in Taiwan, Japan, it could be Line as a messaging app.
Agree. Yes.
Viber. In the UAE, that's our market. Bawal yung WhatsApp or bawal yung ganyan, yung Viber. May mga messaging platforms na bawal.
A
So,
band.
nababan. So, that's why we need to keep it open. Maybe the reason why these people are opening my emails is bawal kasi yung Viber sa kanila. So, that's the best way to communicate. But I have to say, the trend is going towards that direction of using yung mga messaging platform,
Messaging apps. Yeah.
WhatsApp, and Viber. But you also need to use it more parang sparingly para at least you don't spam these people with the content. And of course, to answer another thing, no, yung Facebook also. And this is what I learned, Mags, is hindi pwedeng promote ka lang promote ng product. Dapat you come across as an expert at it, or you're helping them as opposed to selling. That's where
True.
you will get more engagement. So there.
True. No more hard selling now eh. People would
Oh.
really know that you're already doing them.
Saka may
Parang
si Facebook, malalaman niya kung nakikita mo yung price or ano eh.
yeah. Yes. How about for
Actually,
Robinsons Bank, Patricia?
email is very vital for Robinsons Bank because that's when we
Right.
send information that's needed by client. Actually,
True.
actually like your rehab list. Meron din kaming rehab list. Though they're the inactive and passive users. But what's the good thing about having email is you can personalize your content based on the type of users that you have. Plus, in terms of security, it's actually, well, we feel that it's more secured than just blasting the message out there and hoping that one of your clients will see it. So yeah, email is still important. I think it varies depending on the industry and the market that you have. So we still go back to that funnel. You try to see if email works for you or your market and your client. Because for us, for our case, it works for us. They see our promos, they see our new
Yeah.
products, and get to send them their personalized emails. We
Yeah.
get to send them a birthday greeting even. So
True.
I think that gives your customer better, a better relationship with you and your product or your brand.
Yep. Agree. So we'd also like to hear from you, like ways on how to grow your customer base. And if you can share some scenarios wherein, you were able to turn customer pain points into customer touch points, thereby winning them, building much better relationship than when you started.
Sige. Ah, I guess there are many examples that I could give with respect to launching these campaigns and how we were able to convert and build that user base. I mean, as a startup, we had parang we didn't have that capacity to just bombard Facebook and just continue to rely on Facebook to build a relationship with customers, di ba?
Yeah.
And then that's why at the beginning, when we started Beam and Go, we used to attend all these community events in Singapore, Hong Kong, and Japan in particular. So madalas in Hong Kong, and you can see it in the movie, no? Yung mga movies sa Hong Kong of these, merong naging sikat last year from ABS-CBN, si Catherine Bernardo, yung mga beauty
Hello,
pageant.
love, goodbye.
Hello, goodbye. So, and actually, then that same spot is where we would sponsor a booth of Beam and Go, and doon kami nag-flyering before. We would sell our products. We would ask them to sign up in Beam and Go. That's where we got to go to our first 1 to 3,000 users doon sa mga events namin. And although this year nag-stop na kami sa events, in fact, we're not reliant on the events anymore. But the events at least helps you build that trust. Kasi bago ka eh, who are you? So they need to
Yeah.
be able to talk to you and start that. So that's how we started building, I guess, the first 3,000 users of Beam and Go. I could safely say a lot of them are coming from those events. No, and minsan palugi pa nga, we would give discounts just for them to try it. Pero we're just banking on the lifetime value na they try their product. It's a lot more convenient. Oh, I can send a digital gift voucher at this Gaisano Mall in Davao, so that my mom or my husband can use it and they won't be able to consume alcohol and cigarettes. After that, they would
Nice.
part of my agreement with the supermarkets is bawal yung alak at saka sigarilyo. And that was actually that pain point that we solved. Because a lot of them, we were seeing a lot of restored families and relationships. And at the beginning, people were asking, Albert, parang hindi ba magagalit yung beneficiary niyan or they won't accept your product? But time would tell, you just needed to try it out and you would see our retention rate. In fact, maybe 50 to 70% of our customers retention siya. So every month umuulit lang
Wow.
people and they're happy because they see that value of parang sure ako I gave 8,000 pesos, they would use it in Gaisano and alam ng Gaisano bawal yung alak
Bawal
and
alak.
that was the first. And then another example na dumami users siguro namin is through over time, a lot of people have registered to become resellers. So meaning, meron kami their profile are service workers, domestic helpers, and dumami siya, especially now during COVID. So a lot of them wanted to have parang additional na jobs, so additional or added income. So they started selling Beam and Go. Meron kaming mga nurses or people working in
In the
UK na
hospitals.
binibenta ni products ng Beam and Go sa hospital, and then we would just require them to deposit an amount in Beam and Go. You just need to resell it to their friends and then
Correct.
earn a small commission out of it, or they place a fee on top of it. That's how we are able to scale. And these are hindi siya sign up, automatic users na kaagad. Kasi ang problem when you get a lot of sign-ups, pero maraming bounce rate kasi pagdating ng checkout, biglang magda-drop off. So,
Yeah,
pero that's
agree.
also another strategy, which is the digital marketing, because you get them to sign up and add to your user base. Because some of them, they would sign up today, Mags, pero next week pa sila
Next,
bibili. Or
correct,
next
correct.
month sila bibili. And then,
Yeah,
yun yung mga strategies namin in
growing
getting
your customer
part
base.
of it is also
Yeah,
yung mga testimonials. So let's say people can refer their friends. We
true.
also have the mga referral program. So
Mm-mm.
right now we have over 250,000 registered members
Wow.
4 years, and these are OFWs.
Yeah,
A lot of them, we have customers from over 80 countries, which is, I mean, it's not bad for us coming from, I think, background namin ni John. Both of us are not from e-commerce. We just had to learn from scratch.
oh, really. Yeah, and you're doing B2B already. You're B2C and you're B2B na rin. So parang ang dami
Yeah,
talagang lines of business.
correct. And part of it is an example, yung B2B side, may mga opportunities that will come along the way that you did not foresee in the past. So for
Yeah.
example, for us, we have this relationship with Grameen Foundation and JP Morgan, where we started giving out gift vouchers to those affected by COVID-19 through a charitable cause. So that's another
Yeah.
example a use case where we're able to help at least
Yeah.
1,500 families in the past 2 months. So ang bilis. Parang
Diba?
dahil sa B2B, you increase ka agad by a few thousand
Correct.
users.
And then you're giving back. So that's
Correct.
nice. Diba? Yes, with Robinsons Bank, Patricia.
With our bank is with what we did is we actually try to reach them at the platform where they spend most of their time. Because Facebook is really huge in the country. Guess with the 73 million users here in the country, it's really where they are, where we can reach them and let them
True.
know about our brand and our product. So when we launched Simple Savings last year, our platform is very limited. We only have a limited budget, so we actually tried using Facebook and Google as a means to get them and to actually onboard them. So before, we were only getting around 100 to 200 a day sign-ups or account enrollment. When we
Wow.
started doing Facebook, it grew to 1,000 to
Oh my
2,000 a
gosh.
day. We were actually surprised,
Huge.
and our
Yeah.
system was very surprised at that time. So that was actually a trigger point for us to, okay,
True.
it's now time for us to transform everything. It's not just our marketing efforts, it's everyone should transform within the company, within the system, so that we will be able to accommodate everyone, because we understand that there really is a need for a bank account that they can use, not just for having an ATM or
Yeah.
the actual physical card, but something that they can use to purchase online, for
Pay their
subscription.
utilities. Yeah.
Yes. Plus, we actually, from there, we were able to learn a lot and understand what our market needs. So from being just a simple savings account holder and growing that base of having those account holders, we found a group where they are merchants. They are using their accounts to get payments, especially now during the pandemic. And we are actually working on transforming them into
Yeah.
our bank merchants, wherein they just have a QR, a single QR that is connected to their Simple Savings account and can receive payments even from different banks. So we actually have
Wow.
an interoperable QR that accepts payments from even from other banks in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So from growing our base with Facebook, with our main platform, our reach platforms, we actually develop more products and services that caters to what our market needs and our clients.
Yeah.
And we become a partner from that one, just from learning from one single account that we launched last year.
Yeah, there are a lot of online sellers now. I think
Yes,
it's very timely that that feature is available because almost everyone is a merchant now. People are
yeah,
transferring money, online. Yeah. So that
And
being said, sorry.
yeah, no, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah, that being said, we also need to have advanced technology. Well, you think
Mhm.
speed and agility are everything, or are there other factors that plays in creating an engaging experience? Kasi 'di ba, we have to be agile, and our
Yeah.
platform should be ready when we grow our customers base already, right?
I have to say that probably 90% of the time, speed is everything in business.
90%.
Yung caveat to that is speed is important if you learn from it, 'di ba? So
Yeah.
hindi porket you nag-launch ka kaagad, uh, that means panalo na tayo. Nag-launch na tayo ng bagong platform. This is sabi nila, tayo na una, we're the first ones, this is the way to go. But you need to constantly learn, 'di ba? So I have to say
Agree.
that in our case, let's say I'm just speaking on behalf of, let's say, the marketing team of Beam and Go. We always want to be fast. Oh, this is how the others are doing. Dapat next week ganito na yung pag-implement namin. So we always meet and then we adjust and then we learn and debrief every week so that we can see our numbers go up. That's for the marketing side. But I have to say for business as a whole, you need to be fast. Kasi if you're not fast, your customers will be. Diba? Your customers
Yeah.
will be faster than you. And I could say, diba, for example, cutthroat in competition sa e-commerce,
Sa e-commerce.
at least for the big players, for example, that you could see na parang, okay yung streaming. So pati si Lazada, meron na rin siyang streaming within their app. Susunod na rin si Shopee or the other players, di ba? So
Yeah.
dapat meron ka mga ganong features so you can have that a very, I guess, agile team so that you can quickly make those changes in I guess your platform or yung UI nung app mo. You're able to make those quick changes, and then I think being fast is also important because your audiences expect it. For example, let's say you have a product. Let's say kami, we launched this bigas padala. And then ni-launch namin just 2 weeks before the lockdown. Ni COVID na pero hindi pa nag-lockdown, but we started launching it. At first, we just did it in Luzon, and then we realized, oh, this actually has a market. And then we had no choice but to find yung mga distributors and yung mga budding entrepreneurs in Visayas, Mindanao. And within a month or two, we were able to make it nationwide kaagad. Kasi we wanted to have that positioning that when it comes to
Yeah.
we should be choosing Beam and Go. And it's also good because at that time, they had no choice. A lot of them couldn't go to the grocery. So parang most of these OFWs, they're not living in the main cities. A lot of
Yeah.
them are coming from the outskirts. So they would choose our product kasi, oy, safe to. I just need to stay at home. Darating yung goods sa bahay ko. So that is another part that I would say you need to be fast in that case. Tapos yung under promise over deliver, sometimes you would
True.
ginagawa yan ng lahat ng
Hirap niyan.
e-commerce. Pero
Uh,
ginagawa ng e-commerce, sabihin na delivery within September 15 to 30, di ba? Medyo
True.
wide yung gagawin niya, pero they would always try to deliver much earlier so that they would get good reviews from the
The
audience.
buyers. True.
So the last part is, faster. I think it's good to be fast, pero I think the better way to say it is the faster you learn, the faster you evolve, di ba?
True.
So you just continue to learn and then have that accountability, I guess, in your team with the manager so that constantly nag-evolve yung products mo and then you get more winning and happy customers. So there. Hopefully
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
Agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
I agree. Actually, you have to learn fast also. Being agility, speed, and actually having being prepared, and then everyone's involvement of everyone, and everyone should be willing to, innovate and transform. That's more important than just being the first one to do things. Because even if kayo yung nauna, then pag launch no, maraming errors and maraming bad experience yung
Yeah.
mga
Ang daming
tao. So
learnings.
parang magbabash ka lang, you'll just get
True.
negative feedback and people will just, will not try your product again. They will just like forget about you. So it's better to launch na prepared ka rather than, launch
Yeah.
na hilaw.
Half
And then
baked.
everyone should be willing to transform and be agile. Like you don't need to force people, but they should have that feeling that okay, I'm involved in this, so I will transform also. If this project is very important to us and everyone here is really on the go, willing to do this, then that will definitely help you. It's not just being quick, being able to transform in a bit, but also having people involved. It's
Yeah.
it's for everyone's benefit anyway. So it will definitely help you grow faster and become or reach your goal if you have your people support.
Tama. Example of that I could give, Patricia gave a very good point there about involving everyone in the team. One of the things that we used to have this game show. We did it like last year. We call it Benta. OFW B Mercada Benta sa Masa. So we would do it every Wednesday. And then yung mga customers namin, let's say for the previous week that purchased at least 2,000 pesos, they're part of this raffle that we would Facebook Live. And then pag nanalo sila, parang it's just completely by chance. Pagka nanalo sila, then they would get, let's say, 500 peso GC or credits from Bimengo. But then this year, we realized that we wanted the show to revive the show, but to make it more engaging. So we started asking our customers and then amongst ourselves in the team, ano ba yung pwede naming, let's say, tool to engage our customers. Then we figured out and we basically tested this idea of using like a quiz show. So we use parang several platforms online. And then tapos ginawa namin is before launching it to our customers, we did it as a team building effort.
Activity.
So
Yeah.
parang ginawa namin in like a few weeks ago, we everyone in our team participated. Tapos yan, parang may palaro kami sa team tapos nakita namin sobrang saya. Okay, pasado to. Let's do it to our let's launch this game to our customers. But at the same time, it fulfills that objective of you parang getting your team on board that idea. So there.
Yeah, well, that's great. I would like to ask maybe your final thoughts, 5 minutes each, or if you want to share more, what do you think are the key takeaways on creating an engaging customer experience from here on, during the new normal, and moving forward?
Okay. So I guess yung key takeaway ko is everybody wants to, break through that clutter. And especially now, everyone is selling online. Everyone is trying to find ways to survive. That's why lumalabas yung mga industrious in yung mga paraan na Filipinos to survive in this pandemic. But can you see, a lot of them are able to sell a lot even if wala sila masyadong magandang creative content. Wala masyado. Hindi sila masyado nag-revolve. They don't need an endorser. They don't need massive yung mga production online to be able to sell, di ba? So why? Because I think ang pinaka-important sa mga tao is you come across as being authentic, di ba? So if wala masyadong creative and go straight to the point, this is the product, but at the same time, this will help you because blah, blah, blah. There are easier ways for you to promote your particular company brand or service these days. And I think while creativity is important, don't overemphasize that aspect because in this day and age, no, parang marami ng parang that won't make the cut anymore, di ba? Parang nakikita mo na yung nag-evolve na yung advertising and marketing industry. I think that's one trend that I'm seeing. Okay, so Mag, so it's not like it doesn't mean you should not be creative, but don't overemphasize on that part. Make sure that all the different aspects or parang different components of your business are parang well-oiled are covered. Kasi
Yeah.
dapat data from not just your landing page or the way you do your ads, but at the same time, or your copywriting. I think mas important pa nga yung copywriting eh. Diba?
True.
Mas important is the
True.
way
True.
copywriting kaysa yung visual mo eh. Pero once they look at the content that you have in your pages, make sure lang yung touch point mo all the way to the full customer service and fulfillment can meet their expectations. So parang yun ang pinaka-important sa akin eh. Parang nare-retain namin yung customers if we are able to serve them well, di ba? And even the marketing is, minsan nga yung marketing ko, pinapakita ko na lang yung positive, yung picture ng bigas na na-deliver, tapos yung tatay na naka-smile.
Oh, emotional, di ba? It's better.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Tapos, okay na sila. They will, naniniwala na sila. You get more sales just by showing these testimonies. So I guess being authentic and real to them is very crucial, and having all your touch points and having that one voice. So I mean, very clear, Mags, yung sa amin, we always show that part of Beam and Go, take care of your family's needs. So it's very clear. Tapos yung mga ibang campaigns namin, very related to that. Be there for your family. Or let's say, meron kaming Christmas campaign. We call it Tuloy pa rin ng Pasko.
Tuloy pa rin.
It's important kasi for OFWs, marami hindi stuck sila,
Correct.
hindi nakaka-uwi. And then the product that they'll probably be buying for their family at the very least is a Noche Buena package. So that's what we're launching. Actually, grabe, as early as 1-2 weeks ago, we already launched the Noche Buena package.
Grabe, months na kasi. Sorry.
So there.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
there.
Patricia.
All right. So some of the key things that we actually learn when it comes to building a customer experience is one, know your market pain points, understand what they need, and then that's when you try to build. I agree with Albert, the authentic personality that you have when you're building your marketing efforts or your communications, and then be personal. Try to do something that's really fit for them. There's not really a definite formula when it comes to building an experience, but
Agree.
every person or every type of market has a different path or a different behavior. So you have to make that personal to them, so that they will feel that they can relate from you, that you are a partner, that you don't just advertise to them, but you understand who they are, and that what you're giving them is something na kailangan nila, kayang makatulong sa kanila, and especially during this time of pandemic, and even in the future, mas ma-realize nila na, okay, so the reason why they were showing me this and they were telling me this type of communication is because alam nilang kailangan ko to, and that they were able to
Agree.
foresee na in the future makakatulong talaga sa akin to, and I'll be, this is something that would make me feel valued, and would give me or give the bank or a brand the loyalty that they deserve. And even pwede ko na rin siya i-promote, word of mouth.
True.
So once you get them to feel that they're very important, that you know them, you understand them, they will be the ones to even promote you. And then you experience then for other people, mas ma-enhance patuloy, since they're part of it and they have someone who actually relates, or someone who actually experienced the same thing and is just sharing that.
Yep, agree. Well, thank you for that. Thank you, Albert and Patricia. Patricia, sorry. Personally, my key takeaway is really that would be able to engage more effectively if we listen more to our customers' needs and wants. Of course, from the discussion, really providing a solution for their pain points is a plus points for all of us, and making everything better from the get-go or during the awareness stage. So dun palang alagaan na, so that there'd be conversions after, right? Okay. Wow. Well, we have a lot of insights and work for us going back to the office, and we'll try to practice Albert and Patricia's recommendations on creating an engaged customer experience. Again, Thank you, Albert of Beam & Go and Patricia of Robinsons Bank. Thank you, Seamless Philippines, for inviting us. And to our attendees, we appreciate you for choosing this session. You can move the discussion online and connect with Albert and Patricia should you have more questions. Again, this is Mag Salvador of UHI. Thanks, everyone. Hello again, Kathleen.
Thank you. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Patricia and Albert also. Very informative discussion. All right, for our audience who still have questions, connect directly with them in this platform. Also, kindly do take time to visit the virtual exhibition area today where you can see our sponsors' products and services. Thanks again. Stay tuned for our next session with the topic Digital Marketing Strategy by Patricia Ann Sioco.
Okay. Bye.